Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Bill Seaver channel. And this is our first video in almost 4 months. August 14th was the last uh, Bill Seaver video that we put out. And so today we're back doing some videos. We've got a movie ranking for you to start off 2025, and that is a movie ranking of the Home Alone films. Yes, Home Alone, for those of you who don't know, is one of my all-time favorite movies. Love watching it during the Christmas season. Of course, the first two films are, dear to my heart. Gotta love, Macaulay Culkin, terrorizing Harry and Marv in the first two films. And the first Home Alone especially is a Christmas classic. And so whenever you talk to somebody about the Home Alone films, some people don't know that there's actually more than one Home Alone. They just think there's the first two with Macaulay Culkin. Oh no, there are actually five other. No, yeah, that's right. Four other Home Alone films out there. And we're going to be ranking all of them from my least favorite to my favorite. I had to watch all six Home Alones in preparation for this video. That way you guys didn't have to. And this is just my silly personal opinion, so if there's a Home Alone movie out there that you hate that I might like, or vice versa, it's totally fine. Opinions are opinions, man. Everybody's got them. And so I'm going to be ranking the Home Alone films from my favorite to my least favorite, or from my least favorite to my favorite. So starting things off without wasting any of your time, the worst Home Alone, in my opinion, is Home Alone 4, which came out in 2002. You can really put a lot of these movies you can put in any order, and it's totally fine. The last three Home Alone films on here were pretty bad, or the most three recent Home Alones that came out. So Home Alone 4 came out in the year 2002, and this is kind of a weird movie because so it's kind of like a TV movie special kind of thing. And it's more of it seems more like a remake than a sequel, and it's a really bad one at that. They pretty much it's like they took everything that was that made the first Home Alone especially so special, and then they put it in here and they pretty much just crap on it pretty much. First up, the kid. He's Kevin again. We're using some of the same characters. Kevin McAllister. They just with different actors instead of Macaulay Culkin playing Kevin this time. He is played by. Let's see real quick. He is played by Mike Weinberg, who I don't think he's been in a lot of films. He was pretty big. I guess, in the early 2000s. They have French Stewart, as you can see in the back there, and instead of Harry and Marv is back, actually, and instead of being played by Daniel Stern, he's played by French Stewart. And when I watched this for the first time, I'm like, why is French Stewart playing Marv? First up, he doesn't even look like Marv. Like, he looks like he dressed up as Harry from Home Alone, Joe Pesci's character. He was like a Halloween party or something, and it's like the director for Home Alone 4 or like a casting director or something saw him and it was like, hey, you want to be in the next Home Alone movie? It's like, yeah, sure. And he's like, great, you're gonna be Marv. I'm like, what? It's like, but French Stewart, he's in Third Rock from the Sun. He's funny in that show. He's terrible in this. And then also he's married. I don't know who would marry Marv from Home Alone, but apparently, and also like his mom is in this movie. So, but yeah, there's no Harry, there's no Christmas spirit, and also Kevin's parents are divorced in this movie. Yeah, that's because we needed that. And also this kid, he's kind of a brat. And yeah, he's just very unlikable. He's not the actor playing him. He's not very good. This movie all around is just horrible. If you hear barking in the background, I apologize. My grandparents' dog. But yeah, Home Alone 4, by far the worst Home Alone film in the entire franchise. Coming in at number 5 is actually the most recent Home Alone, and this is the Disney Plus special, Home Sweet Home Alone, which came out in 2021. And when I looked at the trailers for this movie when it came out, I knew that it was going to be bad. But the thing is, like, I really was hoping this movie would be good. Like, I was really rooting for this movie to be somewhat good, somewhat likable. It's just not. Archie Yates, it's this British kid named Max, and the dude's kind of like this rich, spoiled brat, kind of, and like the Kevin from Home Alone 4 isn't likable. He's this Max kid, he's probably just as worse. And like I said before, I really wanted to like him because he's in a movie called Jojo Rabbit. That's a good movie. He's great in that. In this movie though, he's just terrible. It's pretty much the typical same Home Alone movie. You have a kid. He feels like he had a big family. He feels like he's ignored. He's kind of a troublemaker. He's kind of rebellious. And then all of a sudden his parents leave him home alone. And then robbers come to the house. And then he puts up traps for them. And that's pretty much what this is. However, this time, the robbers this time, instead of it being like Harry and Marv or something like, or something that's a couple this time. And yeah, it's just a complete mess. The traps are terrible in this scene. In this movie, a lot of them are not very funny. Yeah, this movie, it was just a headache to watch. 100% would skip this movie next holiday season. Coming in at number 4 is the 5th edition to the Home Alone movie franchise, and that is Home Alone Holiday Heist. And this movie came out in 2012. This movie is not good. It's not a good film. It's kind of like Home Alone 4, where it's like a TV movie special type of thing. Again, it's not good, but they tried to do something different with this movie. So instead of one kid being home alone, it's 2 kids. It's this kid named Finn and his older sister, and they pretty much moved to this house. And for those of you who read the Goosebumps books, this is kind of what it feels like a crappy Goosebumps episode. There was an episode where they moved to like this house and it's haunted in the Goosebumps books. This is pretty much like that book, except for it's like more Christmas themed, I guess. And they have there's this painting in the house that the burglars are trying to get back, I guess. They have, what's his name? Who's the old guy in this movie? I should know him. Malcolm McDowell's in this movie, which I don't know how they got him in here. Malcolm McDowell's a pretty decent actor, I'd say so. But yeah, Holiday Heist. This movie, it tries to do something different, and I will give it that. However, it's just not that good. And also, the kid, he's kind of painful to watch at times. He's kind of like this gamer, and his parents, they don't like that he likes video games. And also, bro is literally afraid of everything outside of video games. He's antisocial. He doesn't like going out meeting people. He just wants to play his games. and also it's like, yeah, like I could go on talking about this character, but I might have a headache myself again. But yeah, Holiday Heist. Like I said before, I liked how they tried to do something different with this film, but it still doesn't work. However, but they gave it a try. I will say that. But coming in at number 3 is the third installment of the Home Alone movies, with that being Home Alone 3, which was released in 1998. Now, this is a very polarizing movie because this movie is, for some people, it's kind of a guilty pleasure. Like, it's not good. It's not a good film. It's not a good movie. I know some people love this movie. I know a lot of people hate it. And I understand why. Why most people would hate it. And the main one being that they changed the casting around. I actually don't mind it. That I actually like that they changed the casting around. Obviously, Macaulay Culkin was getting older at this point. So he couldn't really do the Home Alone films. That, and he was kind of going through some stuff. Some personal stuff, of course, that most child actors go through. So they bring in a new cast. This is also the last movie that John Hughes was involved in. So some of his charm is still in this film, which is cool. But yeah, like that's kind of the main reason why I think some people don't like Home Alone 3 is that they changed the casting around. Another reason too is that this movie this is the only Home Alone movie that doesn't really take place during Christmas time, and some people don't like that. Well, some people are like, why do they not talk about Christmas? Like I think they actually mention it too in the movie, like that the movie took place after Christmas, but it was still in the winter time, like around January and February and stuff. But yeah, so that's kind of the reasons why some people may not like Home Alone 3, just because of the casting. And it doesn't really have that Christmas spirit because it doesn't take place during Christmas time. But yeah, there are some flaws with the movie. The kid actor, he's not perfect, but he's trying. Scarlett Johansson's in this movie, but this was before she became Scarlett Johansson. And then with so pretty much there's this kid named Alex, and he's home with the chicken pox, and he gets this toy truck that has a chip in it that some lady next door mistakes for another bag. And there's these criminals that are trying to get this chip, trying to get this this car, this remote control car, and then Alex calls the cops on them a couple times. They don't believe him, and but yeah, the plot's kind of almost everywhere, kind of, and yeah, it's a lot. And then so Alex, he sets up traps. The traps that are in Home Alone 2, so like in the first Home Alone, it's like when Kevin makes the traps and everything. Even though they're a little unrealistic, you can understand how he pulled them off. And then Home Alone 2, I think he got a little carried away. The Home Alone 2 traps are that's what I would imagine with Home Alone 3. If Kevin had put the Home Alone 2 traps in Home Alone 1, and yeah, this is pretty much that. Like, there's a guy that, like there was like a nail chipper that hit him in the head. Like jumping off of jumping into an ice pool, falling down a laundry chute. Yeah, there's just a lot of traps that happen in this film. The criminals are just goofy people. Again, it's not a perfect film. There are a lot of flaws with it. But for me, it's not a bad film. It's kind of a fun, guilty pleasure kids 90s film. And yeah, again, not great, not bad. It's better than, I would say though, it is better than the last 3 Home Alone films that came out after this. Coming in at number 2, I know this might be I know some people may not agree with me for this one. But number 2 is the first Home Alone with Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, all of them. Yeah, the first Home Alone is by far, it is a good movie. This is a great movie. It's a Christmas classic. I watch Home Alone when it's not Christmas time. I used to watch these films quite a bit. But yeah, the first movie, the plot is like really amazing. It's a good plot. It's this kid who's, he's feels like he's, Kevin, played by Macaulay Culkin. He does a great job. Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern do a great job as Harry and Marv, two of the most iconic Christmas villains. But with Kevin, he gets left at home alone by his family, who are in a rush to get to the airport for a Christmas vacation. And and then the mom kind of realizes, oh crap, I forgot my kid, and she's doing everything she can to get home to her son. And even if it means being in the back of a van driving to Chicago with John Candy, who's a member of a polka band. Yeah, John Candy's awesome in this film too. And then with Home Alone, I'm sure it's like every kid's dream to be home alone for a few days. You can do whatever you want. Go into your older siblings' room and get in their stuff, eat a bunch of junk food, watch R-rated movies, jump on your bed, sleep in your parents' bed, all that stuff. And yeah, Kevin, he's living his life up until Harry and Marv decide that they're going to rob his house. And so he has to come up with traps to defend it. And some of the traps are iconic, Marv stepping on Christmas ornaments. You have the tarantula, the paint cans, Harry, the doorknob, like burning his hand. Also like a flamethrower thing, Yeah, there's a lot. Oh, and also Marv getting hit in the head with an iron. But yeah, and then there's the shoveling dude. He's cool. But yeah, the first Home Alone is by far a great movie. It's not my favorite Home Alone, however. You're going to see it here in a little bit. But the first Home Alone, it's a classic. I watch this movie every single Christmas. I watch this movie a bunch. I even watch Home Alone 2, which is my favorite Home Alone, a lot. So with Home Alone 2, I actually watched Home Alone 2, like as a kid. I watched Home Alone 2 before I watched the first Home Alone. I had Home Alone 2 on VHS. I had Home Alone 3 on VHS for a little while too. And with Home Alone 2, I just had Lost in New York. I had so much fun with this movie as a kid. Is it a good film? Not really, but it kind of like Home Alone 3. It's kind of a guilty pleasure, but I love this movie. Macaulay Culkin's good. You got Harry and Marv are back. This time Kevin wishes that, he might have had his own vacation. He's going through the same thing. But they're in Home Alone 1, except for he wishes he had his own vacation. He gets on the wrong flight, or this time he does make it to the airport, but his family, they're going to Florida. He's going but he gets on the wrong plane to New York City. And New York City is a really big character in this movie. Like, I love the montage of Kevin just exploring New York City, like downtown. He's visiting the Twin Towers. He's at the Empire State Building. Central Park is another one. Trump's hotel that was in New York City. There's just that's probably my favorite part of Home Alone 2, besides the traps. And then also you have the hotel scene. Tim Curry, he kills it in this movie. He is the best thing about Home Alone 2. Your limousine is ready, Mr. McAllister. I believe you ordered a cheese pizza. You have a stolen credit card. And then also the scene, like the fake movies, like in the first film, that's pretty funny. They bring it back in this one. It's like, I'm going to give you to the count of 3 to get your lousy lion. Hold on. Hang on, I got it. I'm going to give you to the count of 3 to get your lousy lion 4 flushing carcass out my door. 1, 2, 3. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. And Happy New Year. And then also like that scene is like really funny where he's like, get down on your knees and tell me you love me. I love you. Like the little eye roll he does too. Like it's just hilarious. Rob Schneider's in this film. He's annoying. Of course, you have the Trump cameo. The Bird Lady. I know some people don't like her. You know, they say she's like a copy of the Shovel Dude. And yeah, that is true. There are some. Home Alone 2 does recycle a lot of stuff from the first Home Alone, but for me, it's like it kind of works. It's like it's understandable. Same casting, same actors and stuff like that, same characters. But yeah, Home Alone 2 is by far my favorite Home Alone film. And there you guys have it. That is my ranking of all the Home Alone movies. Let me know in the comments below. Do you guys agree with me? Do you disagree with me? With that said, I'll see you guys next time.